game opening, especially when they have control of Clock Tower.
Yeah, and we were highlighting Cougar as well as to how he was the sub out of Falcon. When you let this guy play, you see exactly what happens, right? First blood material in core memory esports, XKOG picking up the first 4 points, the only squad to get into a tussle early on and to walk away clean, not allowing their opponent's vision system to get away from Clock Tower at all. But of course, that is not to the... we can't really judge vision system all that too early, right? Because these hot drops can be absolutely deadly sometimes. Once again, luck comes into play. You never know what sort of a weapon you're going to be finding out there. And unfortunately for them, luck just wasn't on their side early game at Bermuda.
Yeah, could be on our side though. Sometimes we say something and it just happens.
That's all the time.
Yeah, it sounds scripted, but I promise you, we did not plan this at all. Kyong actually gets knocked down by Peter. A far Vitality now being caught in the crossfire. The Team Falcons on the tail. I do wonder how this is going to turn out, right? Especially with Peter, it's going to be forcing the rest of Vitality away. They will escape the Falcons. Thanks for now, Diggs out in the air, but no follow-up shots, so Falcons only find one.
Yeah, well played by Vitality. So if anyone is wondering, like, Vitality, where did they come from? If you know of a squad that used to be known as the Falcon Hunters, Bigatron Esports, they are the brand that was acquired. Vitality, they have got what it takes to really wreck some of the hopes of these other squads out there. But early game, being caught in a tussle, not faring them all that too well. Thankfully, they had their jump pad in hand, managing to quickly reposition. Cougar and squad now, core memory, continuing their prowl, compound to compound, looking for those vending machines because you know you want those helmets, you want those level 3 Wests out there as well.
Yeah, get the revive if there is a need for that. We see Oscar equipped by Cougar. A good time to talk about the very recent update, July 1st.
Bye-bye Tatsuya.
Bye-bye Tatsuya. Good riddance. To a certain degree, I know the whole world hated Tatsuya. Well, not the whole world, but most people didn't like how the direction that Tatsuya is heading towards. We get Oscar back. We get some decent buffs, you know, Skylar, Homer, Cassie got buff. So gets me excited every single time, and here it is, Falcons catching up to Vitality and finds 2 more bodies to add onto the list.
Yep, absolutely, and this is the kind of pacing you gotta fear if you're the opponents of Falcons. You don't want to be coming across a squad that is desperate to go back-to-back in terms of championship. They are, once again, the champions of Free Fire at EWC 24. They want to pull in 25 as well to their side. And obviously, Club Championship is waiting for the brand. Koja flies away. Peter has got the right gun and knocks him out of the air, putting Vitality down onto the ground. One final survivor quest. Oh,
that was the last guy.
Goes out as well. Bye-bye, Vitality. Too early.
Really, really too early. So far, the points have been skewed towards 2 Thai teams, Core Memory and Team Falcons. We saw the earlier video talking that On Fire is the only quote-unquote survivor from last year, but we also saw Peter, right? It's time to do Peter justice because he also won with the team. It's good to see that Peter is still got it. And we know Koskyu is behind the scenes as the analyst, and you know, one more to charge is definitely a bit heartbreaking, but another fight breaks out. Couple of Riptide Rhythms right towards Alpha 34, and Liz has no chance.
Yeah, not even the time turner could save this guy, Linz. They pulled out the time turner right over the jump pad. Brilliant in terms of execution, but unfortunately, as they try to fly away, Esports just way too good with those long shots, especially when you've got this Wonder Kid Rasya on your squad. VSK in hand, he's playing on meta right now, walking in with the Skylar. Riptide Rhythm on the buff, but here comes Red Hawks, and they are looking for the birds in the sky. Falcons dropping Kororo. The rest of their players a little bit too far away for the hunt. But Red Hawks with 3 eliminations already. I think they are off to a fantastic start.
We know the psychology behind fear, and most people fear the unknown, and I think Red Hawks are the unknown right now. This Bangladeshi team out of nowhere, no one really knows who they are and what they can bring. Taking 3 points for themselves at the very start, and I think when you play with this mindset that no one knows who you are and you really got nothing to lose, maybe that's the motivation that Red Hawk needs to push it further. Evil's Divine now arriving at Factory, and that other occupants, you have Core Memory, you have Alpha 34, basically scattered around this compound. Evils are not going to make an entry just yet, but I think holding this perimeter is perfect.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, you've got Liu here as well. Alpha 34 managing to get away from harm's way just moments ago, but perhaps out of the pan, straight into the fire. They've got a good wall now, blocking off the vision of Core Memory. from spotting them out in the open. But the question is, does somebody rotate behind them? And as I asked that question, thank you very much, production. You've got Red Hawks heading straight in towards Factory as well. This is really dangerous. Alpha, they need to quickly reposition if they want to live another circle. Question is, where is this next circle going to bring us though, Husky?
Yeah, I hope we go towards Factory. That would be crazy. That would be a deviation that you don't see often, but I think we might be heading towards Factory, right? We saw the Dinoculars being used early on by Red Hawks. That's why they are so confident going to the compound. The takedown on Team Falcons, force them to reset. That's why, look at this rotation. It is so late. They are scanning Shipyard as the circle closes in towards Factory.
And Falcons just playing the game of revival outside the circle. Now, this zone is not going to hurt you all that too much for the time being. They're looking for those coin machines. They're looking for the extra cash in their pockets to get those upgrades before getting involved in yet another tussle. And obviously, with all of these coins, purchasing a jump pad, going in for the very quick reposition is not going to be too difficult at all for Falcons. The veterans playing this really smart.
Absolutely. Even in the bigger scheme of things, there's a couple of teams that like to play it slow, right?
Yeah.
We heard earlier on when Carol was doing the team introduction, she said the boogeyman of the final circle, Fluxo.
Oh.
We see them on the map right now. They're coming in from the southern side towards Mars Electric. They're going to run into Red Hawks if they continue that trajectory. But Red Hawks also understand that they cannot hang around Mars Electric for too long, so they are going to make that rotation towards that western side.
A fantastic read of the circle by both Red Hawks and Fluxo. And Red Hawks trying to flank around towards the southern side as well. Spotting out Team Fluxo makes the right decision to back away, because out in the open, it's not like they can't take a fight, but you're going to be using a lot of your resources, losing a lot of your glue walls, medkits, just absorbing those shots. That's not a fight you want to take. Very smart play from the Bangladeshi squad.
Now, we even see them use another Dinoculars to scan out the same area that they came from. And Core Memory, they just got spotted out. Shots were fired, and this could cascade into a full-blown fight between at least 5 different squads at Factory.
Oh yeah. AGAL, one of the returning squads as well. Hailing from Thailand, we want to see more from them. And obviously, the bigger question is whether or not Dew is going to be in his top performance today, because we've seen time and time again, whenever Dew is not hitting those long shots, you just don't see AGAL walking away with a lot of points.
One of the few players that has experienced the lowest of point in his career, right? The biggest heartbreak, and still stuck around. Through thick or thin, he came close to a World Championship title 2-3 years ago, and then he never got the same achievement after that.
Look at that. Something so rare, man. The portal goal being used after so many seasons.
That is an expensive investment, but it did put Core Memory in a decent position.
Yeah.
But I do fear if this circle closes down to the southern side, Core Memory are going to have to jump.
I think this is a brilliant play from Core Memory, using that portal go to get on top of the silo. They've got that bird's eye vision. They've got the long-range weapons in their hands as well. You've got the Woodpecker on their side. You've got the AC-80 that is spotted out as well. I will not be surprised if one of them got to their airdrop to pull out an AWM. But we have to catch up with them in a little bit. AGAL, as they rotate around, the bigger question is, will they be able to find the players of hot shots before they find them? Because this next circle is going to be really important, and quite a number of teams are betting on the fact that it's going to be at Factory, and that is where we go. So AGAL is most definitely going to be pulled straight towards the team hot shots, and this is just not good for business. Fluxo on the way into that circle as well. There's a potential 3-way outside the circle, because neither one of these 3 squads can sneak in towards that next zone undetected.
This is such a Fluxo thing to do, right? Playing it slow. We know that they like Mars Electric, and there's a good chance that that's where they're looking to take over. But with this circle moving closer to the western side of the map, I think Fluxo might just think about booking it straight into Evo's Divine and Red Hawks, and maybe giving AGAL a free pass towards Pochinok, where they will meet up with Hotshot. Finally, the southern side of Clock Tower is where Team Falcons have perched their birds for now.
Rain Gaming, a team that we haven't highlighted all that too much just yet. Qualifying in here from the 4th spot out of Brazil. Built for the big stage for sure, despite being overshadowed by Fluxo pretty much all the time. This is a squad that has got consistency built into them. You want to see a little bit out of that as well. Recent top 6 in the global finish as well. So this is a team that brings in a lot of promise to the ZWC stage.
You see the airdrop collected by Team Falcon, so they were able to finally take their time and get ready for the end game, right?
Yeah, that's a big play there.
It's incredible. The fact that they were able to really read the situation right, understanding that most teams are going to head for the circle and Fluxo likes to play south side.
Yeah.
Falcons got the entire north arsenal to themselves and now they are ready to begin a potential siege into factory, but I think the smarter way is to wait for Alpha 34 or Evil's Divine to start an engagement.
Yeah, and you know we are on standby for some pandemonium. 12 minutes in, 10 squads still alive and kicking, each and every single squad stacked with players. 40 players out there on the battlefield right now, and this circle is going to get a tad bit too tight in a couple of seconds. This does not look good for some of them who are outside of factory, baby.
And I can't believe AGAL ran into Fluxo. MT7 needs to go, but at least they found Horus still with the backup of the rest of his team and the play zone knocking down MT7. Fluxo down to just Bobs against the might of AGAL. This could be his final resting spot on Bermuda. Bobs has nowhere to go, takes the launch pad, wants to escape, but Cypher says no. Fluxo are out.
As anticipated, they on the way towards factory, and Fluxo, unfortunate in the first bout, the first engagement they get into, they walked away with just 1 point on their side. But of course, they've managed to take away a player from the side of AGAL, perhaps that will punish them a little bit later on. Virtus Pro circling on in, hot shot, can't get the job done just yet, and Pain Gaming showing them exactly how to get the job done. Action stealing away Diamond from their hands. Pain Gaming a tad bit annoyed, but they will go all out to shut down hot shots as well, who have not gotten into the factory compound just yet.
Virtus Pro, a desperate move to beeline into factory, did not pay off at all. Completely sandwiched by 2 different squads. And because of that hot shot, they now get some room to breathe. They have ended up alerting Pain Gaming of their position, but it is still a far gap to close. We see even on the kill feed, Red Hawks, they are starting to make their presence known.
Okay, Xbozzy now needs to start to move. He's got the VSK in hand. Good rate of fire off of that sniper. But the question is, if you bump into too many players, what can you do?
Red Hawks took out AGAL. That is impressive.
Very.
And here comes the siege. Next on the list going to be Evil's Divine. Not an easy one, but Flicker, you can see the smile on his face. They're feeling really confident about this.
Yeah, man, this is not the kind of zone you want to be flirting with. And Red Hawks circling on in. And this time it's going to be up against Esports. But Nate from afar. Razia wants a piece of this and he finds Scooters. Coachil with the God Nate. Ray with the M590 looking for one for himself as well. They won't find the glue walls first. And quickly repositioning. Smart play out of the Indonesians. Flicker, the final one standing here for the side of Red Hawks.
Impressive, just perfect frag from Kochu to set the team up for success. Red Hawks runs in game 1 ends right here. Virtus Pro also out of the equation. And now we're down to just 6 teams. Evil's Divine now having to come into factory from the perimeter. They gotta deal with Falcons.
Yeah, as expected, back-to-back eliminations here, just way too crowded. But surprisingly, the action hasn't gotten out of hand just yet. And look at Falcons, man, from being close to wiped out, they are now one of the top 6 squads, and they are all geared up for victory here. Peter and squad, they've got the loot needed, they've got the weapons needed as well to find dominance in this final circle. See exactly how they circle around as Core Memory Esports needs to now get out of this factory.
That silo play early on is paying off. They get such a good position to work with, eliminating Hotshot Esports in the process. And we see now the battlefield is starting to light up. Team Falcons making their presence known, taking out the members of Pain Gaming and Alpha 34. The Brazilians completely vanquished.
Yeah, 6 eliminations, make that 8 now for the side of Falcons. Core Memory Esports circles around, looking for a victim. They will find nothing except an empty part of this circle. Great position to hold on to. Falcons up against EVOS on the other hand. From the wall, those FGL shots are going to find the connection, but for the time being, there's a little bit of a peace treaty between the two.
Core Memory is just going to let this play out on the northern side. There's nothing that they need to worry about except for a moving circle, which they will start to lean into. But for Evil's Divine, making it past this wall is going to be a mountainous task with Falcons guarding it.
Oh, fantastic. As the circle now looking for the reposition. 3 squads left in here, all from Southeast Asia, 2 from Thailand, 1 from Indonesia. Who walks away with the very first booyah of the day? Kororo has got the weapon of doom, the M79, grenade launcher in hand, trying to lob those nades over the wall. And immediately as the Indonesians hear that, they back away from that wall, wanting nothing to do with his weapon. But the question is, can they play this circle without putting themselves in danger? The first team to rotate around usually is the first team to get punished. And the Riptide Rhythm breaking down the defenses of core memory. Ray wants a piece of this. Rosa in hand. Cougar just not the right weapon for a CQC and runs straight in with the Oscar. The Valiant Dash drops the players. And it is EVOS that crushes core memory.
A Valiant dash in vain. And Evo's Divine now stands toe-to-toe with Team Falcons. We've seen this play out last year in the final round of the Grand Finals. Deja vu for both teams, but both teams with a new face overall. And now Evo's Divine, they sort of know where Falcons are going to come in from. Rasia is going to be the key.
First time the Valiant Dash making its appearance here at EWC, and it's such a solid play as well from the side of EVOS. On fire, has got the weapon of doom. M590 in hand, aim gone, looking for one, but all he finds is the floor. Coach Shield finds the back of a player from the side of Falcons. Peter hanging on for his dear life alongside On Fire, and Falcons from champions of the previous year, EWC 24, to champions of Bermuda as we open up Free Fire at EWC 25.
Just like what most people would expect, Team Falcons once more rings in the first ever opening win, setting another benchmark for the Free Fire EWC 25. But I gotta say, this final circle brings back so many core memories from last year. Evo's Divine once more came close, but the Kryptonite have always been the Falcons.
Your number 1 and number 2 squads from EWC 24 appearing in the final circle of the very first opener match. Dude, it seems like we scripted this. It cannot get any better than this, Husky.
There's no way that we could write a script that is as good as this. But it really sets the precedence for the rest of the team. And even when we look at some of the competitors that were knocked out early on, I gotta say, teams like Red Hawks also made a splash. Hotshot Esports also made an impact by threatening teams like Virtus Pro as we approach the end game. I think if you're Evo's Divine, there's nothing to be disappointed about that round 1. Rasia put up a hell of a show. But at the end of the day, when you're up against Falcons, you have to be at 101%.
And Red Hawks managing to shut down AGL as they would desperately try to get in towards that factory compound. That was perfect. We wanted to see more from the squad out of Bangladesh, and we get to see exactly what they're worth. Red Hawks definitely in the top half of our leaderboard, as we're going to spot it in a little bit. But this was a phenomenal start of the day. We're going to be taking a quick short break, guys. When we come back, it's game number 2 at Purgatory, baby.
Triple kill.
หรอ
มาที่เล่นได้กดซ้ายไล่ซ้าย
ตีแล้วไปดิ
ไปเขียนไล่ซ้ายเลยสกัดเลยนะ
ร้อยจะแล้ว
ตีเป็นโดนใบอยู่นะเว้ยโดนใบอยู่
ไม่ต้องรีบบอกขวามาบนนี่นะ
M7จะหมดเหรอเพื่อน
เก็บปืน
รอดูกูหน่อย
หน้ากูเต็มเลย
มึงรีบได้ปะ
ได้อยู่4 ได้
จ่อยวอลได้ปะ
ร้อยนึงข้างในเนี่ยชิด
กูมีออสการ์นะเว้ย
ขวาเนี่ยกูมีเหมือนกัน
ที่2นั้นหรอขวาเนี่ย
ตัวเดียวเจนกดตัวนี้ไว้
ปัดกูเฮียโดนดาวไป
ร้อยหนึ่ง
แต่ได้บ้านปีเตอร์มือกูหน่อยดิเดี๋ยว
กูเล่าพี่เจน
เฮ้ย
The calm before the storm as we see Falcons' point of view before they secure the first ever booyah here at pre-fight EWC 25. And one of the storylines for the team going into EWC was the fact that there was a lot of uncertainty. The roster had changed vastly. We only had On Fire left. And so people questioned whether Falcons were going to be able to bring it back. And I mean, I think this is enough proof in the pudding, gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We were not expecting Peter to go back. Thus, like, it's only On Fire that we only saw in that video. But Peter finally showed up. Finally, like, really ramped up the game of Team Falcons, and this is the result.
I think for the most part of it, at least we see that On Fire. As soon as they got that initial pick, I wish we had like an English Thai member a part of our group, because then we can understand what's going on with the comms. We saw them take it really slow, but that sudden pick onto Aim God just opens a lot of opportunity for the team to start flooding on in.
Well, I felt them like really energetic, right? So I think it was like good words, maybe, but I would like to know too.
Absolutely. Now here's the match rankings for our previous matchup. Team Falcons sitting on the top of the nest because we did have the Falcons nest here in Riyadh and already off to a great start. First game of the day, first on top of the leaderboard, securing a whopping number of points. Some other teams, though, not so great performances. I know, Raja, we had a quick discussion during that break just now. The Brazilian team's looking a little bit slow today.
Yeah, I think it's because the AJ team, the teams from Asia, they normally are more aggressive, and